Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a very important report to share with you guys, and that is this. If you are a white, Christian, conservative, evangelical, then the New York Times has just labeled you a very big threat and blamed the length of the COVID-19 pandemic on you specifically. In other words, you're the reason that people keep dying of COVID-19. And I'm going to show you the article. Not only that, but Black Lives Matter has just put up a, shall I say, piece of paper on their George Floyd section saying, white people, if you dare to enter this sacred area, then you must follow these certain sets of rules and regulations. Kind of sounds a lot like segregation that we faced years and years ago in the United States of America that we all thought was gone, but somehow it seems to slightly be rearing its ugly head again. However, this time it's segregation against white people. I mean, right now, on top of all of that, I'm also going to show you a New York Times best-selling book that literally encourages people to pray to hate white folks. No joke. I told you this was going to boil your blood. But for starters, I want to encourage you, get on over to Restrictive Republic. I can't stress this enough. Right now, we have our best ever option that we are sharing, and it's $5 a month for 24 months. This is huge. Use the code FREEDOM in order to get that monthly special discount. But right now, get to Restricted Republic because I honestly can't tell you how much and how much longer we're going to be on these platforms. And look, the mainstream media lies to you. I constantly point out their lies a lot in Restricted Republic, and you can see some of the articles that we've done there. We also do joint live stream events, answer questions there. So get on restrictedrepublic.com and take advantage of that $5 monthly rate for 24 months using the code FREEDOM. All right, so let's dive in first to this article, to what BLM did to white people. Take a look here. And this is on foxnews.com. Minneapolis, George Floyd Square features special instructions for white people. But what exactly were these instructions that were given to white folks over at George Floyd Square? We'll take a look at the actual document here, and I want to show it to you so just we can go straight to the horse's mouth. But here it is. Welcome to George Floyd Square, a sacred space for community, public grief, and protest. And they said this is where George Floyd took his last breath under the knee of the police officer there. And it says, enter with humility, and we invite all, care for each other by wearing a mask, asking others to wear a mask, honor the space. It's very sacred space. But then they have this disclaimer at the bottom, and I'll blow it up for you. But here's what it says. For white people, for only white people, not for blacks, not for Hispanics, not for Asian people, just for white people specifically. Keep in mind the definition of segregation. Before I show you this, here's the definition of segregation. The separation or isolation of a race or ethnic group by enforced or voluntary residents in a certain area, okay? So this is exactly what we're seeing. It is separation or isolation of a specified race, either by force or by voluntary action, okay? This is what this is. But here's what it says white people need to do, and it says this. Decenter yourself and come to listen, learn, and mourn and witness. Remember, you are here to support people, not you yourself be supported. Number 2, be mindful of whether your volume, pace, and movements are supporting or undermining your efforts to decenter yourself. Because apparently this is just a white person problem, right? Seek to contribute to the energy of the space rather than drain it. Bring your own processing to other white folks so that you will not harm basically black people and people of color. Consider if you want or need to take photos and post them. Consider that. And do not take photos of other people without their consent. But that just applies to white people. Everybody else can do that, right? But then it goes on. If you witness white folks doing problematic things, speak up with compassion to take the burden off the black folks and our siblings of color whenever appropriate, to seek to engage rather than escalate so that it can be a learning moment rather than a disruption. White people need to follow a certain set of instructions if they dare set foot in the George Floyd Square. I don't know about you, but that ticks me off. That's called igniting tensions between races. This isn't race healing. This is segregation. This is racism. And does the mainstream media bring it up? Does the mainstream media, are they upset about this? No, they say you have white privilege, suck it up. Go to hell. I was one of the poorest, and it shouldn't matter what the color of your skin was. I didn't get accepted for grants or scholarships or anything like that because, well, they didn't accept me. It didn't matter that I couldn't provide for myself, that I was dirt poor, grew up in a single wide trailer in a neighborhood that had meth houses and the whole 9 yards. Nope. Somehow I didn't have that privilege. Where was my privilege? I get so mad because it gets me so upset. Right? White people don't know what it's like to be poor. Go to hell. I was poor. And so was my dad, who grew up in the ghetto in Ohio, in a very bad part of Toledo, Ohio. He witnessed murders and stuff all the time. Young little white boy. Hey, where was his privilege? What about my grandma's privilege, who died in that area? What about my parents, who are still really poor? Where's the privilege? Anyway, I'm mad. I'm sorry. But it just makes me so mad. I had to work to get to where I am today. And thankfully, I'm not as poverty stricken, like I was when I was younger. But this race baiting and creating this systematic racism problem, this is what it is. They're saying systematic racism is everywhere, in everything, in the air that you breathe. And this idea that everybody who's white is basically racist is just baffling. Just baffling. You see, you can't fight something that doesn't exist, folks. So the systematic racism can be anything that the left wants it to be. You can never win. You can't win against systematic racism. I'm just going to leave it right there. What a good clip. Lisa Haven's angry. Moving on a little bit, because that's not the only thing that should upset us right now. Take a look at this article here. NewYorkTimes.com says white evangelical resistance is the obstacle in the vaccine effort. Millions of white evangelical adults in the U.S. don't intend to get vaccinated against COVID. Tenets of faith and mistrust of science play a role. So does politics. They go on to make this statement, and they repeat this throughout the article. But there are 41 million white evangelical Christian adults basically in the U.S. About 45% said in late February they would not get vaccinated against COVID-19, making them among the least likely demographic group to do so, according to Pew Research Center. If we can't get a significant number of white evangelicals to come around on this, then the pandemic is going to last much longer than it needs to. Key point there, said Jamie Etna, founder and executive director of the Humanitarian Disaster Institute at Wheaton College and Evangelical Institute in Illinois. Pause. In other words, if white evangelical Christians don't start getting vaccinated en masse, then it's because of them. It's their fault that the COVID-19 pandemic is going on and on and on. In other words, they're murderers because they're killing people with COVID-19. COVID-19 is killing people and lasting longer. So it's the white evangelicals' fault that this pandemic is still killing people. Jeez. Because some Christians have a religious belief that varies from yours? Where's religious freedom? I mean, really? So now, not only are signs being put up that segregate against whites, saying white people have to follow a certain set of rules that everybody else doesn't, but now white evangelicals are blamed for the length of the pandemic. But maybe it's not like they're writing prayers, asking. Let me just go there. Theblaze.com, right? Best-selling, New York Times best-selling book, a devotional, includes a prayer by social justice activists asking God, just help me hate white people. She also called whiteness a dysfunctional system and a threat to individual white people. Here's the actual screenshot of the book, right? This is the book. It's called A Rhythm of Prayer Collection of Meditations for Renewal. And it has been widely circulated on Twitter and all of that. But the book was a New York Times bestseller according to its Amazon page, right? And here it is. Dear God, please help me hate white people, or at least want to hate them. At least I want to stop caring about them individually and collectively. I want to stop caring about their misguided racist souls, to stop believing they can be better. They can stop being racist, that they can actually stop being racist. Freaking help me hate white people. What the bleepity bleep 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 bleep. I mean, geez. Hey, that's wokeness for you. God, help me hate white people. Because they're misguided racist souls. And they think they can be better, but they can't. They're just racist all around. Wait, what? And as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, book's still available. Book's still out there. Book's still widely published. Hasn't been removed, as far as I know. Correct me. I haven't checked within the past a week or so on that, but as far as I know, right? Or how about this? Moving on a little bit. Here we have twitchy.com. Here's just a hot take for you. Start prepping now to confront the racist relatives that you haven't seen since lockdown. Remember the Harvard offered a printable placemat full of social justice talking points. Here's that placemat. Yale activism, Islamophobia, black murders in the streets, house master tile. That one got a lot of outrage, but that's what they're talking about, right? But anyway, you could employ over Thanksgiving dinner with the family. Remember when Show Up for Racial Justice offered a holiday hotline for white folks having tough conversations with their Trump-loving relatives. White people should confront their only white relatives if they are Trump-loving people. So if you like Trump, that makes you a racist. That's what they said. And that you need to confront them head on because they're racist without any evidence, without any facts, without anything to back it up. Bring tension to your relatives, your loved ones, your neighbors. Right, with this placemat, with this ideology of leftist idiocracy, right? There's not much brain cells in a lot of the liberals out there. I'm just going to put that in under the radar. Maybe that's not nice. I get it. It's not nice, but they're not. To tell me that you're just going to start wars between family members, I mean, this is irate. I'm livid. And now they're even calling a lot of our congressional leaders racist. As you've seen over the past, USA Today, normalization of hate, they say. White nationalist language of America's first caucus sets off new alarms in racism, specifically talking about Marjorie Greene, Ted Cruz, and many, many others of just conservatives who are in Congress. They labeled all the conservatives, all of them. If you're a conservative, that makes you racist. That's the definition. Here we have ADL. Fox needs to fire Tucker Carlson because of his white. Wait, what? Do you see the battle? Tucker Carlson has been on for years. But this new monster called systematic racism is now accusing anyone, get this, that they don't politically agree with. We don't politically like you, conservative? Well, we can't call you conservative because that would be attacking a political opponent. I got it. Let's make them racist. So if you're a conservative, you are now our political enemy and we're going to attack you and get you off the air because you're a racist. Yay! Racist people get removed off the air. Tucker Carlson's racist, Marjorie Greene, Ted Cruz, President Trump, his followers, all of them. Everybody who is a conservative has now become a racist bigot. Hello, people. The big imaginary monster of systematic racism rears its ugly head. But under the radar, they're really called conservatives and Republicans and Christians and white evangelicals. That's who they're really after, folks. That's who they're really after. And I don't care if you're a Democrat, a Republican, a Libertarian, whatever side of the fence you're on. That's wrong. That's wrong. Haven't you noticed that everybody that gets that label is only on one political part of the fence? I know you guys have. But we need to shake the liberal people out there. Hey, who What's the political affiliation of that person? What's the political affiliation of that person? Keep going. We need to start waking up the sleeping giant out there who wants to stay out of it altogether and say, do you notice a pattern here? Do you notice a pattern here? Anyhow, I went off today. I love you and my apologies on that. But as a quick reminder, please make sure you guys are checking out this multi-collagen formula. I got to get a new bag here soon because I've been using all of mine, but it's really done really well for my hair, my skin, and nails and these kinds of things. And just it gives you that more youthful looking appearance, and it does not taste bad. I like at all. I mix it in my coffee every morning, and there is no flavor to it. This is some of the best stuff, easiest stuff to take, and I hate pills, so this is great because it's not in pill form. But right now it has 5 different types of collagen that your body desperately needs, and you can get it at healthwithlisa.com. So make sure you take advantage. You can even get it for your mom for Mother's Day, another great option for that as well. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for putting up with me today. I can't wait to read your comments on my little nature today, but I love all of you. I'm Lisa Haven, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Signing out.